After clocking in over 40 hours of the Battlefield 6 beta the past 2 weekends, these are my final thoughts on the game so far as we head into the full release in October. This is one of the best betas I've ever played. Besides a few minor bugs and the handful of crashes I had, Battlefield 6 looks, sounds, and performs great. I'm hoping when the game launches that it runs great from the start. We live in an era where games launch incomplete or with terrible performance, so if launch day is successful, this will be a huge win for DICE and gaming as a whole. Not only does the game look and sound great, but they brought back one of the best aspects of Battlefield, the insane level of environmental destruction. It's still not where it was in games like Bad Company 2, but it's way better than the amount that's been missing from the most recent Battlefield titles, such as 2042. One of the biggest debates in the Battlefield community right now is if we should have closed or open weapon classes. The beta had separate playlists for both options, where the open class system allows you to choose any weapon per class, and closed keeps weapons class specific. There's a minor buff to certain weapon types in the open class system, but it's pretty minor, like SMGs for the engineering class have better hip fire, for example. I personally think that with the beta, open versus closed didn't really matter as much because the beta only offered a fraction of weapons, gadgets, and equipment that the full game will have. When the full game launches with way more loadout options, having the open class system may make it incredibly difficult to balance classes and make for some really overpowered loadouts. I'm guessing that with the launch of the game, we're going to see separate playlists for both open and closed classes. I think they need to pick one or the other and just stick with their decision. My personal vote is to keep the classes closed. Not that my vote matters, because I'm just a YouTuber with 100 subscribers. Don't forget to subscribe, by the way. The classes themselves are all really fun to play in their own way. The first weekend I played mainly as Recon and Engineer. Weekend 2 I played mainly as Assault and a little Support as well. I think there's only a few changes I'd like to see in the full release. The main thing that needs to be nerfed is the shotgun, and that's coming from someone who used the shotgun a lot. It's really strong, has insane range, and has a high rate of fire. You can wipe squads out so fast if you land all your shots. I think decreasing the range and slowing down the rechambering speed just a little bit will make it more balanced and still viable in close quarters. I also think the defibrillators for the medic should have a very slight cooldown just so you can't spam the defibs and revive 5 players in like 2 seconds. The fact that there's no charge up time and no cooldown is a bit ridiculous. Also, just a quick reminder, if you're playing support, please revive your damn teammates. Look at this shit. Like, dude, come on! I also love the addition of being able to drag teammates to cover to revive them. It's extremely helpful and it's intense when you're going for the revive but you're not sure if there's someone that's about to gun you down while you're vulnerable. It feels so good when you pull off that crazy revive. I had the chance to use most of the guns over the past 2 weekends and they're all pretty good and fun to use. Some of my favorites were the B36A4, the L110, and the SGX. Oh, and I have some meta build tips I want to go over. So first, you pick a gun you like, and then you put some attachments on it, and then you use it. I'm personally happy with where the gunplay and movement is at. It is a bit faster than previous Battlefield titles, but I think as long as there's no annoying mechanics like slide canceling, bunny hopping, or drop shotting, the game will continue to feel like Battlefield and less like Call of Duty. They could maybe slow things down just a hair, but throughout both weekends, there really wasn't any moments where I thought to myself, wow, what was that? That was bullshit. I don't know about you guys, but when I see sweaty COD gameplay with ridiculous movement, it doesn't make me want to play the game. One thing that definitely needs to be adjusted is the spotting system. It seems like any enemy that is in your field of view gets spotted with a Dorito over their head, and your team can just shoot at the spotted enemy blindly and get the kill. On so many instances, I would just shoot my noob tube at the red marker and get the kill without ever seeing the actual enemy. Weekend 2 added the Rush game mode, which is similar to Breakthrough with smaller maps and teams. 12v12 is a nice mix-up from the larger scale matches, but I think I prefer Breakthrough and Conquest personally. Hearing the siren go off when the bomb is planted on the objective reminded me of the good old Bad Company days, and it gets super intense when your whole team is pouring into the objective to defuse the bomb. There does seem to be a bit of an imbalance on Rush and Breakthrough on some of the maps when attacking versus defending. Taking the first and final objectives on Liberation Peak Breakthrough when attacking is absolutely brutal sometimes, and taking the final objective on Empire State Breakthrough is stupidly easy. The spawns and objectives on Rush also seem pretty busted. The MCOMs are very close together sometimes, or close to the attacker HQ, so after you kill an enemy, they can just respawn and run right back into the objective. A lot of people are unhappy with Rush being decreased to 12v12 as well, and want to see larger teams like how it was in past titles. All of the maps, I think, are pretty good so far, Liberation Peak and Siege of Cairo being my favorites. The Empire State map was added to Weekend 2 of the beta, and I really like this map. I had fun with this on every game mode, and it's so fun getting into close-quarter gunfights between the buildings. It is a smaller map, which is fine, but I hope for the full launch they add an urban map where there's more vertical scaling of larger buildings with tons of vehicles. In general, I'm hoping we see more larger scale maps for the full launch, and I'm excited to see the 5 maps that weren't included in the beta. I'm hoping with the larger maps we also get some awesome vehicle options with multiple land, air, and sea vehicles. It'd be nice to have a practice mode also where we can practice using the vehicles similar to the firing range. I was absolutely useless trying to fly this jet on mouse and keyboard. Battlefield 6 will eventually add a Battle Royale mode. I usually don't like Battle Royales besides PUBG, and I'd rather drink Leech than play Warzone, but since I like Battlefield 6 a lot so far, I'm excited to try it out. I know a lot of the COD streamers are jaying their peas over the thought of a new Battle Royale. One feature that the beta didn't offer was being able to queue into a match with multiple squads. We had a group of 7 at one point this last weekend, and it would have been nice to be able to enter a match with everyone in 2 separate squads. Increasing the squad size to 5 players would also be nice, but instead, someone has to get left out. Sorry Tim, you gotta fuck off, we're full, but you can try joining in Progress if you want. Now, a lot of people are calling this the Call of Duty killer, and listen here.
Look here! Look, listen!
Call of Duty and Battlefield are very different franchises in the first-person shooter genre. Both have had great games and both have had failures. You're not going to get the Battlefield experience from Call of Duty, and you're not going to get the Call of Duty experience from Battlefield. So let's just be happy that Battlefield 6 is an awesome game, and let's hope for future Call of Duty titles to be good as well. One thing that was refreshing when playing the Battlefield 6 beta was the absence of ridiculous skins that has turned Call of Duty and other games into a joke from a design perspective. I'm really hoping they keep the skins and cosmetics to a minimum with the full launch of Battlefield 6. Call of Duty has gone off the rails with cel-shaded American Dad characters, unicorn farts, and ripping a bong from your gun. And it's not just Call of Duty, so many games are guilty of this and have gone insane with all the crazy skins they've added. Even Gears of War is guilty of this, and that's supposed to be one of the grittiest games out there. With whatever skins EA and DICE decide to add to the game, I hope they keep a realistic, gritty tone and stay away from the Fortnite approach that so many games are taking. Putting the K-pop Demon Hunters in Battlefield 6 isn't going to make it a better game. I think that the Battlefield 6 beta was a massive success and probably one of the best betas of all time. I'm super hyped for the full release in October. I don't think I've been this excited for a game to release in a long time, and I don't know what I'm going to do with myself now that the beta's over. Let me know your thoughts on Battlefield 6 in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.